name's Shannon Clark. I've been working here for about 3 years. I'm a senior and I'm a dual degree in audio engineering and design and theater and business management.
My name is Devin Jackson. I'm a lead tech here at the Moss Art Center, and I've been here for 7 years.
My name is Claire Jesse, or CJ to most people in the building. I am a crew member of the production team at the Moss Art Center, and I have been here since fall 2015.
Hi, my name is Mason Campbell. I'm a graduate from Virginia Tech. I majored in music technology, and I've been part of the production crew for about 2 years now.
My name is Jack Scheibe. I graduated from the Virginia Tech School of Music with a degree in music technology in May of 2020, and I've been here as a production technician since January of this year.
I think that the MAC closed like mid-March whenever the pandemic started. It was pretty soon after that spring break day.
Well, initially, the MAC closing impacted a lot of our financial life because we were just uncertain on whether we would even still be paid. And Virginia Tech was really good at taking care of us for the most part. And so for the first couple of months, we were still on the payroll. And then after a while, I think our budgets were strained. And so we collected some unemployment.
So when the pandemic started, the Moss Art Center closed for about 3 months, which was difficult because this was my sole job at the time. Since I just graduated, I wanted to put all my efforts into working here. And so I had to go on unemployment for a little bit, which was unfortunate, being right out of college.
So priority went to those that, worked more and obviously weren't students. And so student wage workers, they came in later on. I'm also a work-study student, and the school agreed to pay work-study students an average, but that still wasn't really enough. And here I didn't get anything. And so I was really struggling there for quite a while, and I was constantly worried, how am I going to make ends meet?
No, there are definitely some positives to the Moss Art Center being closed for me. I was able to, I wrote an entire screenplay. I was able to practice a lot of new photography techniques. So, I'm a pretty creative guy, and it really allowed me a lot of new opportunities and new time to sort of learn new techniques and new creative avenues. And yeah, so I definitely tried to take as much advantage as I could. I didn't waste too much time.
All of the 3/4 timers, they started to come in at around June, but I didn't come in until around August.
The Moss Art Center has managed to put several events on virtually by wiring in artists, and basically we connect the artist to the audience remotely from wherever they are, and then whatever we do in the building is usually just introducing them and then going to wherever they are located.
So the pandemic has really shifted the focus of what the MAC is able to do. Before COVID hit, we did way more of live performances with crowds and everything, and now it's switched into a lot of recordings, live streams, Q&As, and kind of things you can do with a small number of people and no audience.
The events have been affected just in the general sense of, everything's gone online, everything's virtual now, whereas we used to have companies coming in every other day. And we were constantly turning things over. So the exposure to other companies is very low compared to what it used to be, but there's also not as many events.
Up until recently, we split the production crew into 2 different groups. So it was kind of hard not seeing a lot of the friends that I had on the other team for a long time.
The pandemic has made social life here at the Moss Art Center pretty distant. We have a 6 feet sort of distance rule between us, so we actually have to work pretty methodically to get things done, which means, like, you know, just a lot less banter, a lot less like extraneous conversation and communication.
We have a crew of about like 20 to 30 at like our prime for like a normal year, and we've cut that in half, not by like firing people, but like we've separated into 2 teams. And so one team is working one day, the other team is working the other, so half the crew just don't see each other. And it's kind of lonely, especially I've been here for 5 or 6 years, so like several of my friends who I've gotten to know really well I just don't see them anymore, and it's kind of sad.
The biggest way that the pandemic has affected the work environment here, at least for me as a new hire, is that I haven't even met all of my coworkers yet. There's still 2 or 3 supervisors who I just only know by name. I have never seen their face, and same with a few other coworkers.
So the work and social environment after the pandemic, as opposed to pre-pandemic, you know, we're not allowed to be as close to each other, obviously, because of social distancing and everything like that. But it's made it so that we're split into 2 crews, and we're just now starting to come back together. And so you have friends on the other crew that you never see and that you haven't been able to see for like a year now. And that's so odd because you were used to being constantly with them and knowing all about them and everything. And I think that the pandemic's just kind of made everybody hyper aware of things. And so obviously there's more cleaning procedures in place. There's more just about everything that the pandemic circles around in place.
I think we're better at cross-training because of it. So like some people who didn't know lighting before are better at lighting. Some people who didn't know cameras before, which are very important nowadays, know cameras much better. And sound is also really important because there's a lot of like microphones and a lot of recordings that we're doing. So a lot more people are getting more involved with things that they weren't originally signed up to do.
Yeah, some of the procedures that we changed for COVID, a lot of them are pretty dramatic and they're specific to COVID, but there are a couple of procedures that we'll probably keep around. Maybe having smaller crews. It seems that since we've had to sort of reduce our staff size, there's been a lot better efficiency. So I think that's one positive that we've taken.
Oh man. I think the thing that I miss the most about pre-pandemic is just the interaction between the companies that came in, because as a student then I had the opportunity to learn so much from the traveling companies, and I loved that. I also love the interaction between us and the supervisors and us and like the full-timers and all of that. We could all just learn from each other and work together in such a cohesive way. And now with the social distancing, then it's like I can barely pick up something with you without technically breaking protocol.
The last live event that was actually an event, I think, was back in September, which was the Student Film Festival, Progeny Film Festival. So I guess I don't have much of a choice other than saying Progeny Film Festival was my favorite live pandemic event. Just because it's cool, and I did that when I was a student here, so it was nice to see that it was still managing to happen, even with the pandemic going on.
I say my favorite thing about working at the Moss Art Center is probably the people that work here. I've never really worked a job where I've pretty much gotten along with everybody here, and I have supervisors who are basically my mentors, and everything that I learned here has come solely from them, and I'm super appreciative of that fact, coming straight out of college and finding a job that has really taught me a lot.
My favorite thing about working at the Moss Art Center is that I get to work with professionals, but I still get to be in an educational environment because we have such wonderful supervisors.
looking forward to see what happens next season at the Moss Arts Center.
I welcome that.